Tonight, we report on an Ephrata home destroyed by fire, and the Moses Lake City Council discusses the city's fire department performance standards. What's happening in sports, Bob?
Thanks, Amber. The U.S. and Cuba mix it up on the pitch, and skipper Lloyd McClendon gets a standing ovation in the M's Yankee game last night. Let's take a quick peek at our Weather Center forecast.
And here in the weather department, we're looking for a bit of a change from the seasonal temperatures to that heat. Been telling you all week long, the heat's coming our way and maybe even a fire danger. Details coming up.
I'm Amber Jenks, and we have all this and much more on iFiber One News.
From the iFiber One HD studio here in the heart of the Columbia Basin, this is iFiber One News. Your #1 source for local news, sports headlines, and our very own Weather Center forecast covering the entire Columbia Basin. This is iFiber One News, and it starts now.
An elderly woman's home was destroyed by fire in Ephrata. Ephrata firefighters responded to a pair of calls about fire at the same address in the 400 block of 9th Avenue Southeast on Monday night. The first was for a shed on fire. Firefighters were able to extinguish the fire. Chief Jeremy Burns said on Tuesday he installed new batteries in the smoke detectors inside the woman's home before leaving. Firefighters were called back to the property about an hour later for what they thought was a rekindling of the shed fire, but found the back of the house on fire. Burns said the home was a total loss and nobody was injured. Firefighters were at the home Tuesday investigating the cause of the fire. The Quincy City Council will again allow the Quincy Valley Tourism Group to use the city park for the annual hot air balloon and fireworks festival in September. Reporter Jeff Chu has the details.
Quincy City Council gave the go-ahead to another balloon and fireworks festival at Lozier Park in September. The council, during its Tuesday night meeting, allowed the Quincy Valley Tourism Group to use the park's acreage at 13th Avenue Southwest in Quincy for the annual event on September 12th. The group also wants to use the park for fireworks practice Friday before the event. The council's action allows the group to use the park's tennis courts for a beer and wine garden. That way, the beer and wine garden is fenced off for security monitoring. The tourism group is allowed to use the community stage for a band to perform during daylight hours at the event. I'm Jeff Chu for iFiber One News.
An electrical problem in a pump house started a fire in Moses Lake on Tuesday afternoon. The fire spread to damage an outbuilding, an old RV, and a fence on the adjacent property. According to Grant County Fire District 5, Fire Chief Dan Smith, the fire was contained roughly 15 feet away from a nearby home. The firefighters were able to extinguish the fire within 20 minutes, and Smith attributed it to people calling 911. 6 fire trucks from the District 5 and a fire engine from the Moses Lake Fire Department were used to put out the fire. There were no injuries. Grant County Economic Development Council's business recruitment manager is traveling to Japan as part of Governor Jay Inslee's trade delegation. Emily Braunwert and a team from the Port of Moses Lake plan to visit many of the Japanese companies located in Grant County, plus some that are interested in locating in Moses Lake. Braunwert said she is taking 2 trips to Japan, one with a Sister City student exchange, and another to Tokyo with the governor's delegation at the end of August. She also plans to visit Seoul, South Korea. Moses Lake has a history of Japanese culture and companies dating back to 1968 when Japan Airlines began training pilots at the decommissioned Larson Air Force Base before it became the Grant County International Airport. 4 Japanese-owned companies near the airport are Chemicon Materials, Takata, Moses Lake Industries, and Astoril. Mitsubishi is the newest Japanese company to start in Grant County as they build a hangar for testing of their new jet series. Now we take a look at people being sought by law enforcement.
This is Sheriff Tom Jones with the Grant County Sheriff's Office. Each of the people you see here have a warrant for their arrest. If you see any of these people, we ask you do not attempt to detain or apprehend them, but call us at 509-762-1160 or send us an email at crimetips@co.grant.wa.us. If the person is presenting a danger, call 911. With your help, we can bring these people to justice and make our community safer.
We'll be back right after this.
Just when I thought the blizzard couldn't get any better, DQ put the blizzard inside a waffle cone. This is mind-blowing. So when DQ asked me how I would tell the world, I said... Sounds better in Italian.
Pretty impressive, Liz. Any blizzard, like confetti cake, now in a fresh-baked waffle cone. This is fan food, not fast food.
At Moses Lake Community Health Center, we have had the privilege to serve the local communities since 1978.
What I like about working at this clinic more than any other clinic that I've worked at is the patient care. With the patient care team that we've assembled, it allows us to take care of these many facets of the patient and their family's needs.
Please take the opportunity to experience the high-quality care provided at our clinics.
And hi there, everybody. Meteorologist Don Morelli with you here on iFiber Channel 1 News. Our forecast this Wednesday evening brought to you by iFiber One's Inside Look. Why don't you watch it today on iFiber1.com? Well, of course, all week long we've been talking about get ready for the heat. And the heat continues to be right on our doorstep. It'll be arriving soon. Friday, 90s, the weekend above that. In fact, more specifically, we'll see above normal temperatures coming back tomorrow. Boy, wasn't it nice today with the mid-70s, very comfortable temperatures? But then we'll be near 80 tomorrow, low 90s, maybe mid-90s by Saturday, but then above that century mark by Sunday and Monday. And with this heat coming back, the humidity going down, and occasionally gusty winds, would not be surprised if a red flag warning, fire danger, develops in the next 3 to 5 days as well. 74 and 48 extremes here in the city with a little bit of precipitation sprinkles about 24 hours ago. 77 and 51 are normal, so we'll call it a pretty seasonal day. And that 101 temperature for the record high, that looks like the kind of temperatures we'll see by the end of the weekend. 74 and 52, the extremes in Moses Lake. And again, very close to where we should be for this time of the year. And right now, as I mentioned, a very delightful Wednesday evening. 73 degrees, 41 degree dew point, 32% relative humidity. West-southwest breeze rather light. But again, it's going to get a little gusty the next couple of afternoons as well. So let me take you through the next 72 hours, starting off right now, and a few pop-up showers are here or there. But as was last evening, anything that is out there is going to be dissipating pretty quickly with the setting sun. And then things start getting a little bit more stable. You see less and less activity during the afternoon and the heat of the afternoon Thursday, mainly over the mountains, the inland northwest. And then by the time we hit Friday, Saturday, hardly a shower even pops up. You can see pretty much clear for the most part. You saw brief showers in the heat of the afternoon along the spine of the Cascades on Friday afternoon, but generally nothing as it has been. Looking at the state forecast, lots of sun most areas, but west of the Cascades, looking for partly cloudy skies. In fact, still a marine layer there in Long Beach with only 60 degrees. Inland northwest, not as many showers as we saw today for our Thursday time frame, with mid-70s generally the rule, and near that 80-degree mark in Tri-City. Let's take a quick look here in the basin. You can see we're looking for temperatures upper 70s, lower 80s, which is a few degrees above the seasonal temperatures. A delightful afternoon on tap, just a little gusty with the winds a bit, but notice 90 by Friday, 96 Saturday, and then the heat really comes in with a vengeance. So get ready, folks. Going to be a pretty hot weekend coming our way. So keep it here. Sports is next.
Hello, my name is Cheryl Kono. I am your local Ephrata Farmers Insurance Agent. Here at Cheryl Kono Insurance Agency, our customers always come first. We don't just work here, we live here. Please stop by the office, call, email, or Facebook me for a free auto, home, life, business, or farm and ranch quote today. We are insurance. We are farmers. Come in for a free quote today.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
An historic soccer match between the U.S. and Cuba took place in Havana Tuesday. It was the first competition between the two countries in more than 50 years. CNN's Patrick Opman has the story.
An hour before the Cuba-USA football game began, the crowds were already cheering. It was the first sports matchup between the two countries since the announcement in December that diplomatic relations would be restored after 5 decades of Cold War mistrust. From the stands, Lionel waved both the U.S. and Cuban flags. Times are changing, and for the better, he says. Cuba and the U.S. can get along in sports, politics, and anything else. With warming ties with the U.S., lots of American sports teams want to compete in Cuba.
I think it's great that we have the chance to come here and play the Cuban national team, the first sports team in many years to come here, and hopefully many more will follow.
That the New York Cosmos beat out the competition speaks to other changes in Cuba. Cubans are better known for their passion for baseball, but right now, football mania is sweeping the island. So this game is about both developing U.S.-Cuban relations and the island's newfound love for the beautiful game. Even though Cuba is still fine-tuning its play, the island could soon be a force to be reckoned with.
The football will grow, become very strong, and then they have more experience when they play abroad. I think Cuba very soon, gonna have a team in the World Cup, no doubt.
None of the players or officials at the match wanted to talk about the developing FIFA scandal that has blemished the sport. But the allegations of million-dollar payoffs seemed a world away from a game that only cost 4 cents to attend, and where the scoreboard had to be updated by hand. Even as Cuba lost 4-1, the team and the crowd never lost hope. Here they played for the love of the game and with an eye towards a future of new possibilities. Patrick Ottman, CNN Havana.
The Mariners lost a tough one, 5-3 to the Yankees last night. But boy, this game sure didn't lack any fireworks.
He does go off speed. Did he commit? He did not. The first base umpire, Will Little, says he did not. And Alex draws a walk. That brings Lloyd McClendon out of the dugout.
Lloyd McClendon was already hot about Brett Gardner's at bat, which clearly looked like a swing. Montgomery should have been out of the inning, and this was a borderline check swing here. Lloyd McClendon's going to get his money's worth.
Looks like Mike Zunino, the catcher, was sent packing as well. So you see McClendon animated as could be, kicking his hat on the field as he heads toward the home plate umpire, Mike DeMuro, much to the delight of the Seattle crowd.
Well, he might want to go have a piece of Tony Randazzo at third base. That's right. This is where it all started, the Brett Gardner check swing. Lloyd McClendon was hot in the dugout then, and it's not getting any better for him right here.
Shades of Billy Martin and Lou Piniella. You gotta love the passion, if it only leads to wins. The M's and Yankees wrap up their 3-game series today. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
Well, one thing I knew from being a patient myself was that a dental office is a scary place to come to. And so we wanted everything possible to make sure that our office is a comfortable place for our patients to visit. The patients that I have, my clients, have made me a part of this community, and we want to give back in every way possible.
Have you been to iFiber1.com? The most up-to-date news in the Columbia Basin is just one click away. With news, sports, and weather, you can stay in the know with what's going on in your community. Read your news on the go by visiting iFiber1.com on your tablet or even your phone. Follow us on Facebook for quick updates and discuss the news with others in our area. Your #1 news source in the Columbia Basin is iFiber1.com. Check it out today.
Our spotlight story tonight is about Moses Lake City Council study session Tuesday night to discuss standards for the Moses Lake Fire Department and where the department can improve. Reporter Cameron Probert was there and has the story.
Moses Lake Council members haven't decided how fast fire engines and ambulances should arrive at the scene of an emergency. Council members spent more than an hour discussing what standards they should set for the Moses Lake Fire Department. State law requires the city to set standards for how quickly the fire department should arrive at the scene. Acting Fire Chief Brett Bastian suggested setting a 5-minute standard for fire engines and ambulances to arrive at the scene. He said the fire department could meet that standard in most sections of the city.
I've given you my opinion as to what I believe acceptable levels of service are. But I would like you to look at the performance standards as a way of grading ourselves over this next year so that we can start to develop a strategic plan for capital improvement projects over the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years.
He said the standards will allow the department to evaluate how well it's performing and where it could improve. Bastian did point out the department can't reach the area near the Port of Moses Lake within 5 minutes.
If we modify our operation so that we limit those out-of-town trips or eliminate the out-of-town trips, we can meet those in-town response criteria better. We still have the geographical issue, absolutely. Existing facilities are still too far away from our borders. As we've continued to expand without adding facilities, our borders are getting further and further away from existing facilities.
The acting fire chief said the department could meet the standard more easily if it stopped transporting stable patients out of the city. The change would allow him to staff both of the city's fire stations with 3 people. Council members raised concerns about the area where the department couldn't meet the standards. Councilmember John Lane asked whether the city could set different standards for different sections of the city. City Attorney Catherine Kennison said the council can have different response times within the city. For iFiber One News, this is Cameron Probert reporting.
We will be right back after this.
What's white and yellow and red all over? If you said the local book telephone directory, the one with the purple sunset on the cover, then you're right. In print and online at statewideyp.com, it features up-to-date local maps, community information, and a calendar of events. With a restaurant dining guide with full local menus and a reverse directory, you're sure to find the number you're looking for. It's the best way to get the information you need. Pick up a copy of the local book today or visit statewideyp.com.
It's a wake up and smell the flowers thing. A kick cabin fever to the curb thing. It's a just gotta be me thing. It's a spring thing. And what better way to celebrate than in a new Toyota? Now with Spring Thing special offers, including financing as low as 0%, up to $2,000 in cash back, or special low payment leases. For Spring Thing special offers on all Toyota models, see any of your Inland Empire Toyota dealers today. Toyota, let's go places.
Welcome back. A Quincy man is serving 3 years in prison for being convicted of imprisoning a woman because her ex-husband sent her a photo of their daughter. A Grant County jury convicted Juan Cortez Barajas, a 23-year-old man, of unlawful imprisonment when bribing a witness and intimidating a witness. Cortez Barajas has previous felony convictions for rape of a child, possession of marijuana, and possession of cocaine. He was sentenced to 3 years in prison. Cortez Barajas became upset after the victim's ex-husband sent her a photo of their daughter. He started yelling at her, threw his phone at her, and put her in a headlock. He refused to leave her home, and after she told him to go, and he wouldn't allow her to leave. Instead, he demanded she fix his phone, threatening to steal hers if she didn't. She was able to escape to her car with her 3-year-old daughter. Windermere Real Estate is hosting their annual free paper shredding event on Saturday from noon to 4 p.m. Their offices are located at 2900 West Broadway Avenue. Windermere offers Grant County residents a chance to professionally dispose of old bills and sensitive documents to minimize the potential risk of identity fraud. Participants can also take advantage of a drop and drive service starting on Thursday. There is a limit of 6 boxes of documents per person. For more information, contact Windermere Real Estate at 509-765-3337. In Northwest News, a black bear rescued in August from Washington's largest wildfire ever is about to be free again. The bear, now named Cider, was found starving and severely burned in the Carlton Complex fires. Wildlife biologists say the bear is ready to be released back to her home territory in the Wenatchee area, along with a 1-year-old bear she befriended in rehab. Officials say Cinder gained nearly 100 pounds while she was in rehab, and her paws have toughened up enough. Both bears will be collared with GPS units designed to eventually fall off as the bear grows. But the hope is they will last long enough to track the animal's progress. It's a crime starting to show up in neighborhoods across Western Washington, thieves targeting pot shops. The most recent heist in Seattle cost the owners about $100,000. KCPQ's Steve Keegans has the details.
These two female employees have no idea what's about to bust through those doors.
Very violent, very terrifying. They don't know what is going to happen.
Police say these two robbers terrorized the women, stealing their cell phones so they couldn't call police.
There was some planning involved, but I would have to say it probably wasn't planned very smart.
As one suspect keeps the women busy, the other robber helps himself to nearly $10,000 of weed. And police say the ringleader is no stranger to the office.
The primary robber, Mr. Pollard, was an employee of that business for a short amount of time, actually 3 days.
I do have an LA Confidential $10 gram.
Security is also top of mind at the Nimbin Pot Shop in White Center. The shattered front window shows the most recent burglary attempt. Cameras caught this guy using a hammer to pound the glass, but he takes off when the alarm sounds.
It's my neighborhood, it's a community, it's a place where I go and shop. You know, I'm offended.
That suspect is still at large, but his picture is now posted at the front door for everyone to see.
We have a pretty ironclad security system. Obviously, they tried to break in 3 different times. They haven't been able to get in, so something's working.
All legal marijuana growers, processors, and retailers are required to use strict security measures, including high-quality surveillance cameras. And while this guy is still on the loose, Bellevue detectives say good police work and the high-quality cameras help them lock up their suspects.
Quality of the video was instrumental in helping the police department solve this case.
That's going to do it for us here at iFiber One News. We want to thank you for watching, and we'll see you again tomorrow.